What's up, y'all? It's your girl Q. Y'all already know what time it is. It is episode 1. If y'all haven't already done so, go check out my intro. The intro is going to give you a little insight on exactly like what I'll be talking about, the ins and outs of everything. It's not going to tell you who's going to be on my podcast, but it will tell you that I will have some special guests. So just stay tuned to that, because every week is a different week. Every week somebody new will be on here. So just stay tuned to that. Today's episode is about my walk of faith. How I got to where I'm at today. All the trials and tribulations I went through, the ups and downs I went through, just like everything. Wasn't for my walk of faith, I would not be able to have the ability to sit down and talk to you guys. So let's go ahead. My first topic is losing yourself. So I lost myself completely back in 2017. That was the hardest year for me. It was where I literally stopped life. Like, in all aspects, I stopped life. I stopped caring for life. I stopped wanting to keep going. I felt abandoned. I felt lost. I felt like I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't. I was not fully out of the closet yet to family. I wasn't fully out of the closet yet to the most important people in my life. So I had to really live a double life. Like, I had to live a double life majority of my life. I had to, behind closed doors, to myself and to certain friends, I was me. I was Q. But to other people that I was afraid that was going to judge me, I was Yanni. You guys don't know who Yanni is. Yanni is a scared person. Yanni is a person who was so sheltered and who was afraid to become herself, like to walk in her own footsteps. She was nervous. She wasn't confident. And I constantly lost myself in that journey of life, being Yanni. I thought that I was this confident person, but I really wasn't. I finally realized that I just couldn't take it anymore. Back in 2017, September of 2017 to be exact, it's one of the hardest months for me. And that is the month that I literally tried killing myself. It's hard for me to talk about it, but this is the most transparent I'm gonna get with you guys. I tried killing myself. I tried to take as many pills as I could, and I wanted to just let loose. I wanted to just take myself out of the picture, because I felt like I couldn't be me. And if I can't be me, then what's the point of continuing to live? So I completely lost all faith in God. I lost all faith in myself. I did not have support. At that time, when all of this was happening, back in 2015, I graduated high school. I was supposed to graduate in 2014, but I dropped out of school my freshman year. Yeah, I dropped out of school my freshman year of high school. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was bullied every single day. And it became a lot. Nobody believed me. Everybody kept believing the other people on what was going on. I had no support at all. It was always, well, if they said this is what it is, then this is what it is. The only person that I had support from was my mom, And that support didn't last as long because she became tired. She became tired because she had to leave work. So she had to leave her 9 to 5 to come pick me up from school because I was getting suspended, or picking me up from, or coming to the school because something just happened and they needed her to come to the school. So on her off days, she was at school with me because of the things that I was dealing with at school. So she became tired. It became a lot on her, and I lost my support. So I had to finally advocate for myself. I had to stand up for myself. I had to become my team. It became to the point to where when I kept screaming and yelling like, it's a lot, it's a lot, it's a lot, nobody was listening to me. Nobody was hearing me. Nobody is like, yo, like, what can we do? How can we help this? Like, I did not have that soft parenting. I didn't have a place to go to be able to feel like I'm not alone. You know what I mean? Like, I had to literally fully go through each step by myself and be that person to say, it's okay, Q. Like, it's okay, Yanni. Like, you know what I mean? You got this. Like, push through. You good. Like, I literally had to tell myself in the mirror every single day, like, you're going to conquer this. The one person that I would call all the time when something would happen was my grandfather. And I would call my grandfather in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. It didn't matter on what time I would call my grandfather. My grandfather would pick up the phone and he'll answer. So would my grandma, on my father's side to be exact. Like, I would call them and I would, like, literally talk to them. I would cry to them. Like, I didn't know what was going on. They were far. They were all the way in Georgia, which is where I'm at right now. And I would call them up on the phone, like, hey, like, you know, such is going on. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I feel shattered. I feel tight. I feel like I can't breathe. My anxiety became too high. My depression became high. So I would literally have to call them and I would just talk to them. And my grandfather used to tell me the same exact things all the time. What's your last name? At first, when he told me this, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm sitting here talking to you about what I'm going through and you're asking me what my last name is? Like, come on now, let's be real. So he told me, no, stop. What's your last name? So I'll be like, McCormick. He'll be like, no, what's your last name? And I'll be like, Granddad, McCormick. Like, my name is McCormick. He'll be like, no, I need you to speak confidence in that name. And I was like, McCormick. And he said, anytime that that you're dealing with something, remember who you are. Remember that your name is McCormick. It doesn't matter what you go through in life. You have a strong name. As I was young, I'm like, bro, what you talking about? Like, this don't make no sense to me. Like, I don't understand why you keep telling me every time I call you, you listen to what I have to say, and then you ask me what my last name is. And then you tell me the same speech every single time. And I'm like, bro, like, what you doing? Like, I was getting mad. I was getting frustrated because I didn't feel like he actually understood. But when we had that conversation and we sat down and we talked, he finally told me what that meant. And he just basically said that, like I just stated, our last name is very powerful. You know, you see our name. You see our name everywhere. You see our name in your seasoning cabinets. You see our names if you're in Baltimore, Maryland, we have a hotel. In Georgia, we have a city, a town. We have a museum. Like, we have different places that has our name on it. You know what I mean? So we are very, very powerful as a McCormick. We may not be related to those McCormicks, or whatever, but at the end of the day, that's our name. Our name is one powerful name. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's like, stop and look around you. You are very powerful. You're powerful than what you Allow yourself to be. So time kept going on. That was my support. My grandmom and my grandfather was my support. And my aunt was my support. All three of them did not live in the facility that I was living in. One lived in Alabama, which was my aunt, which was about 14, 15 hours away. The other two, which my grandparents, lived in Georgia, which was about 10, 11 hours, depending on who was driving. So I didn't have that, you know what I mean? I didn't have that love. You know, I grew up with the cold love. I didn't grow up with the regular love that I got every summer. So I didn't know how to move. I didn't know how to shape things, how to work. I didn't know any of that. So how could I feel confident in myself if I'm not getting confidence poured into me? That makes sense? Because if no one's telling you these things to help you build your self-esteem, to help you get there, like, what are you doing? Like, I would walk out the house. I even look some at my pictures now, and I'm like, bro, like, why did y'all allow me to walk out the house looking like this? Like, who told me that it's okay to walk out the house looking crazy? Hair wasn't done all the time. I was wearing clothes from my brothers. Like, I had hand-me-downs. My mom would buy me clothes, but the clothes she would buy, it was more so fitting for, like, older people. Like, it wasn't the type of clothes that my friends will wear or whatever. Like, I just didn't fit. It was just like, I could never fit in. And at that time, I'm like, bro, why can't I fit in? Like, why can't I be like everybody else? Why can't I dress like everybody else? So then I started stealing. I started stealing clothes from, big stores like Aeropostale, Hollister. Like, I would steal clothes to be able to fit in with everybody else. So I would take the clothes, I would wear what my mom would put me on, and then I would put my clothes up over them. Then my mom started realizing that I was putting jeans up under my sweatpants. And I was just like, oh, no, it's a trend because everybody was doing it. And at that time in Jersey, everybody was wearing that. I think this was like 7th, 8th grade. We would literally wear our jeans over our sweatpants. Like, that was literally a trend. It was like the biggest trend at that time. So that's literally, it was like, okay, cool. Since everybody's doing it already, I can get away with things. So that's exactly what I would do. I would wear my jeans and, my clothes up under, like, my baggy clothes, because I would wear, the hand-me-downs that I would get. And I would always have a hoodie on. It didn't matter on what season it was. It could be extremely hot outside. I'll have a hoodie on. And I didn't know at that time, I was literally dropping. I was dropping because I'm still trying to become what everybody else is, and it's not working with me. So I'm losing myself even more. I'm losing self-confidence because I'm not getting confidence from anybody. Nobody's pouring into me. So if nobody's pouring into me, how do you expect me to pour into myself? Especially at a very young age. I'm not getting that love. So how do you expect me to get that love to myself? So I kept telling myself over and over again, like, bro, nobody cares about me. Nobody loves me. My mom's side of the family that I lived with, the word love didn't really live in that house. It wasn't a big thing. Hugging definitely wasn't a big thing. Affection definitely wasn't a big thing. Like, we did not hug, we did not love, we did not touch. It was really like you were living in a cold house. Everybody fought all the time. Everybody argued all the time. You know, kids fighting the grandparents. My aunts and uncles fighting each other. My mom, like, it's just everybody is fighting. So I'm living in a household for all my life that was just nothing but tough love, cold, no affection, no quality time. Like, it was just nothing. My mother worked and worked and worked, and when she wasn't working, she was out, you know, being with certain people. And me and her, we bumped heads all the time, because I would text her like, hey, like, how could you be out and not be home with us? Like, what's going on? Like, this was me. Like, I'm crying for love. I'm crying for that affection. I'm crying for my mom, but I wasn't getting it. So I'm again losing myself. Then I was texting and emailing my father. I did not live with my father. My father left when I was very, very young. He left when I was 2 years old. And I'm emailing my father like, Dad, like, I really need you. Can I come live with you? All this stuff. Like, he was in the military, so he was, you know, off seas and stuff like that. So I'm like, I need my dad. Like, I need help. Like, I want you. Like, what's going on? We would get into arguments because my father he never showed up. He would tell me he was going to do something, but it never succeeded. It was just always an excuse for everything that he had. So again, I'm lacking the love, the confidence, the protection, the affection. I'm lacking all of this from my foundation. I'm lacking it from my parents. I'm lacking it from my surroundings. So I'm lacking it from my who was around me, like my grandparents, my aunts and uncles. Like, I'm lacking it from that. Like, when I would try to like lay on my mom, she would like it sometimes, but then sometimes she'd be like, girl, get off of me. But she didn't understand that I needed that. I needed you to tell me, like, you know, it's okay. Rub my head. Love me. You know what I mean? So I'm young. I'm young as freak. Like, I'm young and I didn't have that. But I craved it. I craved it so much that when I got it from friends or anything, I would get so mad if you decided to go and get it from somebody else. No, you were mine. You're my friend. You can't be nobody else's friend. You can't talk to nobody else. It's you and me. So I wind up bullying this girl. Her name, let's call her Chelsea. No, I'm sorry. No, let's not call her Chelsea. Let's call her Rebecca. Rebecca and I were in each other's lives in, I'm going to say the second or third grade, one of the two. And it was the second grade. It had to be the second grade. Or was it kindergarten? Anyway, my childhood life, like preschool area. She was my friend. We wasn't friends in school. We was friends out. Like, we would chill, we would hang out. Like, that was my friend. That was my person. And at that time, I'm lacking all this from at home. So mind you, again, lacking the love, the affection, the quality time. I'm lacking all of that. And me and her kicked it. We was cool. She was a little white girl. We was cool. We was having fun, you know. She was laughing at my jokes. I was laughing at hers. Like, I really found my best friend. Well, during that time of me finding her, I started bullying her. I started to get mad because she became friends with other people. I didn't understand that. Like, no, you're my friend, so let's chill. So I would pull her hair if she would try to go hang out with anybody else, I would pull her thumb. I pulled her thumb all the way back, actually, because of it. I bullied her so bad. And one thing I will never, ever, ever forget, even though I did all of that to this girl, her mom knew. Her mom found out, and her mom literally came to my house, figured out where I live, came to my house and asked my mom, I understand what happened today, but I want to take her to the carnival, and I want her to sleep over. And Rebecca has a figure ice skating show tournament, because she did figure skating. So she wound up asking my mom, can I come? My mom was just like, are you sure? Like, this girl just bullied your child, and you asking me to allow my child to come be with her? Like, are you sure this is okay? But it was like, no, it's okay. So I wind up spending the whole weekend with her, best weekend ever, had all the candy I wanted. Like, I received nothing but love and affection in a way that I never thought that I needed in my life. And again, I'm at a very young age. I would sabotage friendships because of what I went through. One of the friendships that I cherish still to this day, was my next door neighbor. Anybody who's watching, I'm not gonna say her name, but anybody who's watching knows who she is. My next door neighbor. That was one of the best friendships I could ever have. She was my first friend when I moved to Georgia. So back in 2005, when we moved there, her family and my family became one. Like, we became family. Me and her became best friends at a young age. And then I self-sabotaged it. I was very, very jealous. Still to this day. Well, not still to this day. I'm matured a lot. My nose itch. I don't know why I keep touching it. But I self-sabotaged that. I was extremely jealous because she lived in a household with both her parents. Her father was very, very, very involved in her life. Whatever she wanted to do, sports, whatever, her parents were there. When I tell you that she did travel basketball, she was in it. School basketball, she was in it. Anything that had to do with what she wanted to do, she was in it. She just lived that life. Like, she had the life that I craved. She had the life that I wanted. And I took advantage of it because it was brought into my life. And I didn't understand that at this point I'm becoming a demon at this point, because anybody that comes into my life at this point, like, I'm self-sabotaging it. I don't care. I just want what I'm like a plant. I'm craving the food. I'm craving the nutrients. I'm craving the water. Like, I'm craving all this stuff because this is allowing me to grow. As I thought that I'm growing in this place, but really I'm not. But I don't care. Keep going. I'm going to hurt you in the meantime, though, because that's the love that I know. I know to hurt you. And I also know to play you. But it wasn't something that I meant. It was just what I knew. Because that's how my family was. My family was the type of people that played you and didn't care, but act like they cared. In front of your face, they cared. Behind your back, they didn't give two flying rats butts. I'm trying not to curse. That's why, you know what I mean, saying certain things. They didn't care. Because in front of your face, they would tell you, oh, I'm so sorry, da-da-da-da-da-da. But when they get home, they talking trash about y'all. So we know what's really tea. Like, we know what's really going on. But, like, you feel me? In your face, it's a whole different story. So my family, when I tell you my family was the definition of fake at that time, my family was the definition of fake. To a T. They would talk about each other. It ain't even matter. Like, that's just what it was. And we lived in a household. It was 3 bedrooms, technically 2 bedrooms, because my grandparents had their own. 2 bedrooms with 13 people in it. 13 people. And that's not including when my aunt would invite her friends over to sleep over. Or we had, you know, our cousins come live with us, or, you know, whatever. Then the amount went higher. So I'm still like craving all this attention, even though people are around, but nobody saw me. Nobody saw me. We would walk outside in our diapers. Nobody knew. Nobody cared. Like, our neighbors would have to bring us back to the crib because we walked outside in our diapers, but nobody realized that we got out the door. That's the attention. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's the attention that we didn't have. And I'm not faulting my family for it. And I know y'all gonna watch this, and I'm not faulting y'all for it. But again, this is my story. So it became a lot. It became a lot of pressure. It became a lot. So in 2017, I'm dealing with all of this. I feel like I'm stuck in this box. I'm telling everybody I'm depressed. You're too young to be depressed, which I don't understand on why Black folks feel like it's an age limit to be depressed. It's an age limit to have anxiety. It's an age limit to go through anything in life. That's a lie. It does not put, from my understanding, there's no age limit on going through trials and tribulations. There's no age limit. You can be 3 going through things. There's no age limit. But anytime that I would say it, it was always like, you have nothing to be depressed over. What you depressed for? So again, I'm coming to you and I'm telling you I'm depressed. I'm coming to you and I'm telling you I'm not okay. Like, help me, I'm not okay, but you're not listening. So you're egging it on. You're allowing it to keep going. So I said, all right, boom, whatever. 2017, pop pills. Pop, 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 pop. Before that, I was drinking. I became a really bad alcoholic. Then it came down to the point to where I started popping pills. Popping pills to the point to where, at this point, I just wanted to be mellow. I just wanted to say, fuck everything else. Because I went to college. When I went to college, I know I'm everywhere in the story, but it's the only way I can speak about it. When I went to college, I was there. I was so happy I was about to go to college. I was so happy I was going to get a degree. And during that time, I'm like, all right, boom. I'm finally away. I'm finally able to now become myself. So I started dressing the way that I felt I wanted to dress. And I had to leave. I had to drop out of college. I had to drop out because my family could not afford to help me become, like, help me with food, help me with anything. They couldn't afford to get me home. So I had to, for holidays and stuff, I would go out and, do the holidays with my roommates. Thanksgiving, I spent Thanksgiving with my roommate or the friend that I made there. Holidays, period. Like, that's just what it was. Like, I was spending them with that. I was spending that with them. And everybody was just like, you're not going home, Yan? At that time, I became Yan. At first, I was Yanni. Then I became Yan. And I was like, nah, I'm not going home. There's only one roommate. Her name was Um, I'm gonna call her. Well, she's not gonna watch this. Sherry, first person that ever called me Q. But I went home with them. I spent holidays with them. Like, I left. The only time that I left, my family actually came and got me was when it was time to go to my aunt, whose house I'm at right now. It was time to go to her house. Her wedding. That was the only time. And at that point, I didn't know if I should go or not because my aunt didn't talk to me for a good year before that. So I'm like, shoot, what do I do? So I wind up going because my mom's just like, I can't physically afford to pay for you. So I'm like, all right, bet. I just said, okay, cool. So, I went through the journey and I left college, which messed me up really bad, but I left. And again, nobody asked me how I felt. Nobody asked me anything. I didn't have no help. When my family drove me all the way to Maryland to go to school, we dropped my stuff off. My family literally dropped me off and went back home. That was it. Made sure I got in and then said they had to go. While everybody else's parents was there until darn near like it was nighttime. My family was gone before majority of my roommates got there. They didn't even meet my parent. Like, they didn't even meet my mom. It was just my mom and my brother that came. Nobody else came. Even for my graduation, nobody showed up to my graduation besides my mom, my grandma, and my grandfather, and then some kids. Like, nobody came up to my graduation. And then my graduation party, I had to plan my graduation party by myself. I planned that by myself. I bought everything that we needed. I did that by myself. I had to ask, can somebody cook? Like, it was nothing planned, but that was a major milestone for myself because I graduated high school. I didn't even think I was gonna make it, but I graduated. So it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. So when I tried killing myself, it was just like, I just felt like, hey, ain't nobody gonna miss me. Don't nobody see me now, so what's the point? Don't nobody care about me now, so what's the point? So I tried. As you can see, it didn't work. My grandmother is the one who helped me during that moment. On my mom's side, we became best friends during that time. She told me about, things that she went through and how she overcame them. We became really, 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 really close. And then we don't even talk now. We have no communication at all. Because of the life I've chosen. But that's another story. That's going to be in my coming out story. That's another story. So at this time, my mental abuse was through the roof. I started to really lose faith in myself. I got a job in California. I lived there for 4 months. And I just wanted to be away from everybody. So I lived there. I became an au pair. And I was a nanny to two twin boys. They were 10 years old. And it was the best time of my life. Because I was able to be a kid. I don't know. I haven't had the ability to be a kid because I had to be an adult since I was little. I had to take care of myself since I was little. I didn't have that option. I didn't have that option. Like, I didn't have the option of, sneaking out and getting in trouble for it. Or knowing what it felt like to really, truly be a kid. I didn't know what that felt like. So to be around these two twin boys who are 10 years old, it was like, oh my God, I have the ability to be a kid. So we play Fortnite in real life. Like, I set up, places in the house that we can, play. I bought the Nerf guns and all that stuff. Like, I had a lot of fun because I was a kid. So all my life I had to be in survival mode. And that's all I knew was how to survive. Which was a lot of mental abuse. I had to deal with the words of, you're not going to be nothing in life. You're going to be 16 and pregnant. I'm 28 as of tomorrow. When you see this video, I'll be 28 years old. Because I'll be dropping it, on the April 1st. April 2nd. But I'm 28, still don't have no kids. Yeah, I wasn't going to be anything in life. But if I wasn't going to be anything in life, why do I graduate college next year? I graduate college April 25th, 2025. I graduate college. Oh, sorry, somebody outside. So, my depression got really bad. My anxiety got really bad. My self-confidence got really bad. The mental abuse was really bad. I could not trust anybody who said they was going to stay. I could not trust anybody who said they weren't going to do anything. I just couldn't trust it. You could tell me all day long you was going to stay. You could tell me all day long that you love me. You could tell me all day long that you cared for me. You could tell me all day long anything you wanted to say, but I didn't believe you. I didn't trust you because I didn't know what that felt like. So, in 2018, yeah, excuse me, 2018, I met this girl, let's call her Sarah, white girl. I don't know, at that moment I had a white girl phase. I moved to Alabama to live with my aunt. Me and my aunt rekindled our relationship. Like 3 days after I tried killing myself, me and my aunt rekindled our relationship, and she asked me to come move to Alabama. She told me she always wanted me to live with her ever since I was little. She knew that's what I needed. So she tried to move me with her. She wanted to move me with her as I was little, but it wound up not happening. So she did back in 2018, 2019 time frame. Literally right before COVID started. So probably like 2018, 2019. And I'm even living with her, like, that was my support. Like, my aunt was my best friend. She still is. My aunt's my best friend, my ride or die, my heart, she's just everything. Like we're glue. It doesn't matter on what we go through in life. Like we're glue. And she's like my mother. Anybody she sees, anybody she talks to, she'll know. Like anybody will know. Oh, you're such and such is you're such and such starts. She talks about you as if you're her daughter. Like you're all over her office, all this stuff, blah 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 blah. So she was like my mom. So during that time, I'm like, all right. She gave me a deal of a lifetime. She told me that I could come live with her, but in order for me to come live with her, I can only stay there for a year. And then after that, we keep going. Not we keep going, but after that, like, you have to figure out what you're going to do with your life. So even though I'm living with my best friend, I'm living with my support, I'm living with my aunt, the person that I see 2 weeks out the summer, or a month out the summer, I got that love and affection then, but during that time, I did not get it. She gave it to me when she could, but she worked. Her life was work. And then she was a newlywed, so her life was work, her husband, herself, like, and then she was getting sick a lot. Like, it was a lot. So she couldn't give me love, affection. She couldn't give me none of that at that time. Everything that I got in the summer, I could not get physically during the time of living with her. And then to know that I was only able to be there for a year, it was like, again, how can I be a person who is fully able to be alive, to feel comfortable, if I can't even physically? It's like I can't really take my shoes off. Like I can take one shoe off, but my sock still has to stay on. So I'm halfway in, but I'm not fully in. Like you still have to, you know what I mean? Like keep it casual. Like you still gotta go at the end of the day. Period. So I had to be in survival mode even more. It's like I thought I was gonna be out, but I didn't. We knocked heads. She was extremely hard on me. If I would get upset about a job and I wanted to quit, or I did quit, she would not talk to me for 3 days. That was even worse. After what I was dealing with, from my home, of not being seen, being heard, talked to now coming here to a place that I know that I'm going to be loved and all that stuff. For you not to talk to me for 3 days, my abandonment is already there. So for you not to talk to me for 3 days, and I have no idea why you're not talking to me for 3 days, it hit. And it became real bad. I wound up getting engaged I wound up finding a dude who's now a really, really close friend of me. And we started talking. Never had sex, never kissed, never done anything. We started talking. I started staying at his house every weekend. This was before I fully came out the closet. And he was giving me affection. He was giving me love. He would talk to me. He would make me feel good. In a way that it was like, it feels great, but it doesn't feel great. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like I want it. So it started to affect me. And I started to do the things that I did with my mother and my father. And I would ask my aunt, hey, can we do such and such? Can I have time with you today? Can I do this? And it became to the point to where I would ask for it, but because of how high she was in her business, she would bring work home. And then, so she's high in her company. And she would work, like she'll be at work at 5 a.m., leave to go to work at 5 a.m. And she'll be home. She'll leave during the dark. She'll come home in the dark. And then when she's home on her off days, she's so tired, she's going to sleep. Or she has something that she has to do with, you know, my uncle, because they still have to have a relationship. They still have to have that time together. So the only time that we really had together was on Sundays. And that was church, and that was mandatory in that house. So again, I'm crying for help. I'm crying for love. I'm crying for affection. I wasn't getting it in another household that is blood. So again, it's causing a lot. It's causing a lot on me. And I didn't know how to love. I know how I wanted love. So I would give people the way that I wanted the love. So I would love them how I wanted to be loved. But then I realized I can't do that as I got older. And this became a lot. So I wound up finding this girl. We got together. She gave me everything and more that I wanted. She touched me. She loved me. She told me she loved me. It was the wrong type of love, but she gave it to me. I was in love with this girl. I wanted to marry her, like everything. It was bad. It was a bad, toxic love. I stayed with this woman for 3 years. Lived with her. I was homeless during the time of living with her. She was still dealing with the person that she was with before me and during me. And I had the person that she was dealing with, threatened to kill me. It was bad. It was bad. And I went through that. So another form of mental abuse. There were times where she would say that she wanted to be with me, and then literally by the end of the week, she was telling me she can't. She can't do it. And I would beg, like, no, what are you doing? Like, stop. Like, you love me. I love you. Like, what do I need to do to fix it? Tell me what I need to do to fix it. How can I fix this? What did I do wrong? Talk to me. Like, I'm begging this girl to stay in her life. Like, I'm begging her to stay in her life. And it became to the point to where now I'm in a revolving door. I'm going in and out of my aunt's house. And that's one of the rules. My door is not a revolving door. So I wound up moving out. And when I moved out, I moved in. Me and the girl got a house together, got an apartment together. We stayed there for a good 2 weeks. She wound up leaving me and going back to the other person. And so now she's living a double life, because she's talking to me, but she's talking to that person as well. Brought that person into our home and did things with this person in our home. And I didn't find out because I was at work. I didn't find out until literally after, when she told me that she had to go. She packed all her stuff and they were gone. I came home to an empty house. Everything that she brought into the house, she took, and some. And I couldn't go back home. I couldn't go back to my aunt's house because she told me there's no